views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hello and welcome on Modern Odyssey on BronxNet and beyond. I'm Dr. Despina Afentouli. Today we're going to spotlight one of the oldest Greek Orthodox communities in the United States, Zoodohos Peghe in the Bronx, New York. Our special guest today is Reverend Economos Vasilios Louros, presiding priest here at Zoodohos Peghe Greek Orthodox Church in the Bronx. But Vasilios, thank you for having us here in the Church of Zoodohos Peghe.
Thank you, Dr. Despina Afentouli, for the great show that you have, and you're welcome.
Thank you so much, Father. So, Father Vasilios, first of all, what does Zoodohos Peghe mean?
The word Zoodohos Peghe refers to the Virgin Mary, the Panagia, and it means the life-giving fountain. As we know, Panagia, the Virgin Mary, is the Mother of God who gave Christ into the world. The Word, Logos, the divine Word, became flesh through Panagia, so that it means Zoodohos Peghe, a life-giving fountain, because God, Christ, is the life.
And who and when was Zoodohos Peghe community founded?
The community was originally founded in the early 1900s at the Melrose, Bronx, and then we moved to 1967 to Partner Boulevard, and the year 1988 was the groundbreaking and the first liturgy at this area, this building. And the GAI, the Greek American Institute, was established in 1912, and it was the first Greek school, Greek American Institute, in New York City, and the second in the country. The first one was St. Augustine in Florida, the first school in 1776. So Greek immigrants from Constantinople, they decided to come to America, and they came to the United States, and they want to preserve the culture and the faith. So they came from Constantinople, from the place Valoukli, and they have church there with that name, Zoodohos Peghe. So they gave that name to this church, so they can remember the place that they came from. The original Zoodohos Peghe in Valoukli has a source, but the water is miraculous. So His Eminence Archbishop Elpidophoros of America last year came and brought a sample of this water and added it to our fountain.
So we can see the fountain later on.
Yes, absolutely. And it's very nice.
And Father Vasilios, you are here for about a year now. What kind of programs do you offer here at the church, and who can participate actually in these programs?
We are a vivid community and we have many programs. We have Goya, Hiel, we have Joy, Hope, and we also have Golden Years. It is for the seniors. Plus we have many teams with sports, basketball, volleyball, soccer, and actually we have a lot of interests of young and adult people. Plus we contribute for the poor. We have programs for the poor people, and we are involved. And we have other programs like we have a dance group, and we open many doors so people to get interested to anything that they like and to enjoy with our community. We have services daily and weekly, monthly, like for the students at the school. Once a month, I have liturgy for them, and of course for the congregation. And we first, as we know, Christ said, "All welcome." So the services, it's open to any people, but the service that we have, the programs in the church, in the school, it's for the people that are members of our community.
And you also have the festival in the summer, right? Which is open to everybody.
Absolutely. The festival is for all the people to come to enjoy, to relax, to know the community, to know what we're doing. Yes.
And what's your vision for this church, Father Vasilios?
My vision is to preserve the culture and the Orthodox faith and all the ethnicities that they live in New York, for them to become more filial.
Thank you so much, Father.
Thank you, Dr. Despina Afentouli, and I wish you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Our best wishes to you as well. Thank you. Our next guest is Chris Stylianesis, the Parish Council Vice President of Zoodohos Peghe Greek Orthodox Church here in the Bronx. Mr. Stylianesis, welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here in our community and our church.
So, Mr. Stylianesis, you told me before that you are here for about 20 years. So, what made you feel so much connected with this community?
So I ended up in this community when I married my wife. She's a longtime parishioner. Her family is longtime parishioners here. We ended up getting married. We ended up buying a home nearby, and this became my new church. We have 3 wonderful kids. All 3 of my kids were educated at the school here attached to Zoodohos Peghe, and we're still very connected, obviously, to the church. My older daughter is a Sunday school teacher here. My son is a altar boy, and I'm in the parish council.
What do you enjoy most being a member here at Zoodohos Peghe?
That's a very complicated question because there's so many things to answer. I love the feeling of community and inclusion in this church. We're a small community, but we're very tight-knit. Everybody is friends. Everybody loves each other. We have a very vibrant youth community where we play sports and we meet here and we have many different events. And it's just, it's a great experience. It's a great way to grow up.
And what are the forthcoming activities that you organize here as a community?
We have we do hold a lot of events. The upcoming ones are through our youth ministry, which is run by a gentleman named Theotokos. And he's probably had this position for 20, 25 years. And our upcoming one is we do a drive where we feed the homeless. So what we do is we meet here at the church. We put together a whole bunch of meal packets. Everybody comes together. We do clothing, and then we go to various locations throughout the city, and we deliver them to the homeless. It's a really nice experience, and the kids really enjoy being part of it.
Is this an activity you're doing throughout the year or just now for the Christmas?
Typically, we tend to do that activity around this time of the year, the holiday season.
So, Mr. Stylianesis, thank you so much for being part of our program, and we wish you the best.
Thank you so much. Have a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. Thank you.
You too. One of the most established parochial schools is the Greek American Institute, also known as GAI, which is actually located within the Zoodohos Peghe community. John Athanas is the principal of the school, and he's going to enlighten us more about the creative programs that the school offers. Mr. Athanas, thank you for having us here at the Greek American Institute.
Oh, thank you for coming. We're so pleased you're here.
Please tell us more about the creative programs that you offer here at GAI.
Well, we have many. First of all, we have an art teacher, music teacher, Greek dance, but also after school, we have an after-school chorus, which we've had for many years, and we're very proud of. And we do many different productions. It started out, we had an after-school drama program, which I started with Ms. Prokop, the previous principal. And that has kind of morphed into bigger and bigger things. Pre-COVID, we had an Evening of the Arts in the spring, which combined dance, drama, and visual art. And last year we did a show. The only production we did was called Rise, and we did it in the parking lot. And it was dance and poetry, and was very successful. And the art, visual art, musical art, dramatic art, literary art, are all very important to the school.
And so during the COVID-19 period, pandemic, you had to take these measures just to make sure that everyone is okay.
It was very difficult. It was very difficult. Last year, we didn't have productions. We do an Orchid Day production, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Greek Independence Day. We couldn't do any of them. And Three Hierarchs, we couldn't do that. Three Hierarchs merged with Evening of the Arts to be the outdoor production in the parking lot, Rise. We kind of put the two of them together. And that was in the very end of the school year. That was in end of May.
You didn't choose to go online. You just went outside.
We went outside for the productions. We couldn't really do productions online. Limited us because everything we do in our gym, our theater. But creativity, literary arts. I'm English teacher in addition to being principal. And there's a lot of creative writing. We used to do a play reading festival a few years ago. Again, that has to be done in person.
What are your methods of teaching at different departments?
Well, I'm an English teacher. When I started here, I also taught social studies. There are teachers who, gym into health, math, and science. Basically, every child learns differently. And that can be very complex because we're trying to find various methods for the highest in the class and the weakest in the class. We have one class per grade. So everyone is in that class, from the child who is at the tip top to the bottom. So a lot of it is individualized. I know in my classes, I try to get as much in-class involvement as I possibly can, as much writing as I possibly can. if you have various methods of assessment and various methods of teaching, you're going to get to the child one way or the other. The child doesn't like to write, you want to improve that, but more testing, more projects, things like that, more class discussion. If a child loves to write, you increase that. But I have a number of children who are scared or nervous about speaking in class, but are very good in writing and in testing. So I try to encourage more discussion because that's how you bring them into full fruition. So when you have one class per grade, you have many complexities and you have to use different methods aimed at different children.
And this is a way, I understand, to advance students' development over time.
Yes.
And intellectuality, actually.
Yes. I mean, we were looking for growth. You know, many students come here in pre-K and they graduate in 8th grade. Some come later. But the important thing is always to have improvement over time. I used to teach 3 classes, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Now I'm just teaching 7th as I'm the principal. But most of the upper grade teachers teach 3 or 4 grades. And I think that's excellent because they see the child from, say, 5th grade through 8th grade. The lower grade teachers have them only for 1 year each. But even then, it's an action-packed year. And the lower grade teachers connect with each other from kindergarten to 1st to 2nd to 3rd. So they mentor them from one grade to another.
As you've told me in the past, your students are accepted from some of the best high schools.
Yes.
What makes your students' resumes stand out?
Well, they're smart. They have good parental uplift. I mean, there's an old phrase, if it happens at home, it comes out in the classroom. We have very good parents, and they care about their students, their kids very much. We are not a school that teaches to the test. We do test prepping, but that's not an emphasis. The emphasis is on learning. And I think when you have students who are able, who are ambitious, who have parents at home who want them to do well, and have teachers who get to know them. We have small classes. You can't not get to know the students. And especially if you teach them for a couple of years, they're going to do well. We have a very good reputation in the Bronx and Westchester for bringing students to important schools like Iona Prep, Fordham Prep. We had 2 students at Regis. They're still at Regis in senior year. That's a extremely elite Catholic high school in Manhattan where the tuition is free. They get there because they're well brought up, they're well trained, they're very articulate. And that goes from a lot of class discussion, a lot of one-on-one. So when high schools see us coming, they like our students because they know they're going to get good students.
You've also told me that students from different backgrounds, it's a multicultural actually school.
Yes.
But yet, because it's a parochial school, they have to learn Greek. It's a compulsory part of the program. So what's the feedback you get from the students? Like, how do they feel like learning Greek, even if they have like a non-Greek background?
Well, most like it or accept it. I mean, we have found that many of the non-Greek students do extremely well learning Greek. And Greek is a hard language, alphabet alone. We have had, you know, when I started here, a large chunk of the students were Greek on both sides of their family. That has gotten less so. That said, it doesn't seem to affect the Greek program at all. We have very good teachers. A number of years ago, we've had, and not more recently, non-Greek students getting awards in Greek because they were interested in it. They took to it very well. And that, again, I think goes to small classes, teachers who get to know you, expressing the importance of the language. Greek here is connected to everything we do. We do Orchidee, which obviously is a Greek element, but even Thanksgiving and Christmas, 3 hierarchs, Greek Independence Day, these are all involved in the Greek history, the Greek culture. So it's very hard to escape. When you can't escape it, it becomes part of who you are.
So you could say that in the one hand, you have the Hellenes and then the Philhellenes.
Philhellenes, that's right. Everyone loves Greece in this school, whether you're Greek or not.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. It's such a pleasure to have you here.
Cynthia Daphnis is the assistant principal and director of 3K and PKA program and is joining us here today in our program. Mrs. Cynthia Daphnis, thank you for having us here at CAI.
Thank you.
So, Mrs. Cynthia, would you like to tell us more about the programs you offer?
Yes. Pre-K for All has been offered for over 20 years here at the Greek American Institute. 3K started 3 years ago. We have designed a curriculum that is aligned with the New York State Common Core standards, and it also incorporates family needs. In other words, we discuss the holidays that they celebrate at home. We may teach children different words from different languages they speak at home. We're very proud of our program because it has a very rigorous interdisciplinary curriculum with interdisciplinary lessons, meaning that it's not an isolated math lesson. It's not an isolated science lesson. It could be math and science together. Another example is if they are in the Block Center, they are learning social skills. They are learning teamwork. They are learning scientific thinking, math. It incorporates many aspects together. As mentioned, we are very proud of our program. Pre-COVID, we used to have directors and lead teachers from other sites visit our school for guidance and for ideas.
So during the COVID-19 pandemic, how have you been dealing with the situation and the restrictions that were imposed because of the, this health crisis?
We had to implement a lot of safety measures into our program. The children had to be distanced a certain amount of feet. We had remote learning. We offered remote learning to the families. So they had a choice of either having them in person learning or on remote. We had plexiglass during meal times.
Did you remain open or did you have to close down for a while until the situation was improved, let's say?
We were very lucky because of the safety measures we took. We closed 2 or 3 times. The majority, we were here in person. It was very important that we implemented those safety measures. It kept our families very safe, our students safe, and our staff safe.
From your experience as a director, why do you think that parents bring their children here at GAI? Why do they choose this school?
The one thing that we constantly hear when families visit our school or apply to the program is, we have heard so many great things about your program. What can we do to have our child register here? The community is small, word gets around, and we have families that have come from far away. We've had from Queens, we had one family in the past from Brooklyn, and we have many children from the other side of the Bronx, from Riverdale. Many of these families register their children with the thought that this is a free program. They will register them here and move on to a public school. However, in time, they are very satisfied with our program and they wind up staying with us. And 2 of the main reasons they decide to keep their children here is because they do want their child to learn Greek, even though many of them are non-Greek speaking families. And the most important is they always feel that their child is safe here at the Greek American Institute.
3K students especially are the youngest ones, right? So you as a director, what is the most rewarding or challenging experience you have faced over this time?
Yes. Well, the rewarding part is each and every day when I visit 3K, they set the tone for the rest of the day. And it's a positive tone. They put a smile on your face with the funniest things they say, the cutest things they do. And they're just happy to see their teachers. They're happy when I visit. So it puts a good feeling. It gives you a very good feeling for the rest of the day. As far as the challenging part, I would say in the very beginning, for many of our students, it was their very first school experience. So they had separation anxiety, and so did their families. However, I have a fantastic 3K staff, and they're very compassionate. They're very understanding, they're empathetic, and most importantly, they're very patient. And the children pick up on that. They soon realize that they can build a trusting relationship with their teachers, and then they begin to socialize with their classmates, which is a very important aspect in 3K to prepare them then for pre-K.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Daphnis.
Thank you
We
as
wish you
well.
the best.
Thank you.
Iota Papagrigorio is the director of the Greek department and the Greek language and is joining us here today. Mrs. Papagrigorio, hi, thank you for having us here at your school.
Thank you for coming. Ευχαριστούμε.
Mrs. Papagrigorio, what do you offer within the Greek language programs?
Our students do not only learn Greek language, they also have the opportunity to learn and experience the Greek culture in general. So they learn about the Greek customs and they also have the opportunity to experience many of them through the plethora of the events that the school and the Greek community organize throughout the year. They also learn about the fascinating Greek mythology and Greek history, which goes beyond.
You mentioned before that students are experiencing, they're not just learning Greek, but they participate in the community events or the school events. In what ways?
Exactly. So we have many school and community events throughout the year. So our school honors and celebrates all the important moments of Greek history, like the 28th of October, the Ohi Day, and the 25th of March, when students present school plays in Greek. So they speak in Greek, they perform in Greek, and they sing in Greek. We also celebrate the three hierarchs, and our students perform and present traditional Greek dances. And Clean Monday, when we fly our kites in the park, and many more.
So these are like the Greek traditions, which also
Exactly.
interrelated with the Greek Orthodox faith.
And Greek history.
And Greek history as well.
Exactly.
So since it's a parochial school, Greek language is a compulsory part of the school program. How do children, especially those who don't have like a Greek background, feel about learning Greek?
Actually, they really enjoy it. We have many students that they are not Greek, but they really enjoy learning the language and exploring the Greek culture. Of course, the students that come from Greek families, they have an extra reason to learn the language and enjoy it. It's the language of the parents and grandparents, and this creates an intrinsic and natural motivation for them to learn.
So what is your teaching method, and how important is it teaching Greek within the school curriculum?
The Greek here in our school is taught by teachers whose native language is Greek, and we emphasize in communicative teaching. That means that the students learn the language by speaking the language through authentic communications, and that is why Greek is used for the 90 to 100% of the teaching time, and that is why we offer daily lessons in Greek to create this continuous exposure to the language. And for our school, it's very important. Greek is very important for the curriculum. Our school was founded by Greek immigrants in order to keep the language and the culture alive. And up until this day, we carry out this mission, which actually we have enriched with spreading this beautiful and rich language and culture to non-Greeks.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Papagrigorio.
Thank you. Thank you. Παρακαλώ.
So we just saw a dancing from the 3rd grade of Guy school. And I'd like to ask you, what do you like most about Greek dancing?
Matthew.
Matthew, what do you like most about Greek dancing?
I like the different styles of Greek dancing because there might be a style in an island that's not from the mainland or another island that's opposite to another island. It's all fun to learn new styles and all the other.
What's your favorite style?
I don't really have a favorite. I love all of them.
Okay, that's great.
My name is Ilya.
Ilya? Ilya, what's your favorite Greek dancing?
I like all of them. Like Debekiko. Debekiko is one of my favorite ones.
Okay, that sounds great.
And what I like about the Greek dancing is the types of music, because you can learn different kinds of dance, and sometimes you can already know what type of dance is going to be with the music. And there's different kinds of music that can go with each dance.
That's great.
Yeah.
And your name is?
Anastasia.
Anastasia, what do you like most about learning Greek dancing?
The thing that I like most about Greek dancing is the tricks, like psalidya and the hopscotch. And yeah.
And your name is?
Katerina.
Katerina.
And what I like about Greek dancing is also the tricks, also the music, because the music is sometimes calm, sometimes fun, and also I really like the dance moves. Yeah.
Is there a message you would like to send all together?
It really doesn't matter if you make mistakes, because the mistakes is how you learn. So make lots of mistakes. It's all right. That's literally how we all learned. We made lots of mistakes, and that's how we learned from them. And what I want to say is, if you're having trouble, just keep on practicing, because practice makes perfect. And if you keep on practicing, you're going to do great.
Thank you for being part of our program. Eleni, what do you know about this dance?
Well, Choros Koutalion means dance of spoons, which is the reason why we're using spoons to create the percussion for the dance. It is from Igoniov in Asia Minor.
So it's a Greek traditional dance, right? Very old one. Very traditional. What else do you know about this dance? Is there anyone who wants to add something? Marina, what do you...
You use triplet steps in the dance when you're dancing, and you keep your elbows not touching your body.
Oh, that's interesting.
The dance trying to represent the Greek people trying to kick the Turkish people out, but if they say it with words, they'll get killed, so it's like saying it by dancing.
Rocco, what do you like most about Greek dancing?
They give like a domestic feel, like something they could only find in Greece. Like they're all unique and just like native to the Greek country.
I feel like that we get to express our culture more, and since that it's not that common, we could like express it more to have more people do it and like relate to us.
I think, like, being Greek myself, it's good to learn about the culture and style of Greek dance. And I find it very cool that we use wooden spoons to do this dance, and the clacking of the noise, how it has a very nice sound to it.
How do you relate yourself, like, to the Greek culture?
As someone who isn't Greek, it's just very interesting to learn how to do these Greek dances because like they express themselves through their dances. Like a lot of their dances have a meaning for like something that happened in history or just like how they feel.
It's like a new feeling because in my country there's not like much dances, but in Greece there's like a lot, so it's a new feeling and it's very cool.
So what about the last dance with the spoons?
The last dance, Choros Koutalion, is from Iconio in Micrasia, which is present-day Turkey, Asia Minor, and for years it was obviously Hellenized. You know, you had Iconio, you had Cappadocia, Smyrni, you had Pontos, you had a whole lot of different areas that were obviously Hellenized. And what our goal is when they're older is to expose them to some of this so they understand the history in combination with the culture and to get exposed to everything that they wouldn't normally, you know, just by going to a wedding or a party or something like that. You wouldn't normally see these types of dances. So we want to get the full experience.
It's more rare to see this kind of dancing.
It's definitely rare. And, you know, the other thing is, being that we're in the United States, we don't want to lose those things either. We want them to understand all that and learn to appreciate it. And, you know, as I said, most of them are not aware of some of these dances, and some of them are like, whoa, that's pretty cool. You know, so when you have that aha moment, it's a good thing. As I said, with the spoons, they didn't know that we had dances with spoons. They just kind of knew the castanets from Spain, but didn't know about anywhere else.
You're teaching different kind of dances, you told me before. So can you tell us more about the dances you're teaching, generally speaking, here at GAI?
Well, we begin our dance program when they're little, is learning about rhythms, root rhythms, stadio, statria, you know, and how we manipulate a regular statria in the islands versus mainland versus Constantinople, we get Casaposervico, then we build them into other dances. And then as they get older, you have, you know, your Kalamatiano, all your Sirto dances, Ikariotico, all that. Then we talk about island versus mainland. And you get your Bendozali, and you get, you know, all those kinds of things that you see when you're out. And then we also try and do the things that aren't as popular, which is dances from Thraiki, dances from Pontos, dances from Micrasia, which normally you wouldn't see. Even Eptanisa, not a lot, unless you're from Eptanisa, you're generally not going to see it. So, you know, we try and give a little bit of everything, a little taste of everything. So by the time they leave here, they'll have a little of all of them.
They have the full picture of the Greek dancing.
Exactly.
And how important is it to preserve like the Greek culture here in the United States?
Oh, it's extremely important. You know, I can tell you, I have children of my own. And for me, as my parents obviously are immigrants, my kids were born here, but I don't want them to lose that. You know, at some point, if it keeps getting watered down, you lose it completely. And then nobody will realize it. And a lot of other cultures make sure that their traditions and everything are preserved, and that's what we do here at the school. We definitely want them to have not only the dances, we want them to understand the music, we want them to understand the traditions, we want them to understand how it works in conjunction with the church and the calendar, you know, and we want them to have a whole idea of Greek culture and learn to appreciate it and basically make philelines out of everybody, because even the Greek kids might not know it all. They'll learn about it, and then you have a child who's not of Greek descent, learn to love it. And that's what we want.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for watching Modern Odyssey on Bronx, Net, and beyond. Until next time, γεια σας.